Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to Knits and Tits, and thank you so much for supporting. I kind of wanted to make today's video about everything and all the steps that I needed to take prior to receiving any chemo treatments. But before that, thank you so much to everyone who has messaged me such kind, beautiful words and sent their prayers. It's so amazing to get support from you guys and hear from you guys, so thank you, thank you, thank you. Without further ado, let's have a little chat. See, this may be a little bit of a long video, so if that does end up happening, I'll make it into a two-part segment, so I'm not keeping you guys here for too long. Aside from that, on July 25th, I went to go see my primary care doctor about feeling a lump in my left breast about a week and a half before my appointment. It was just the one area that I felt. And when I went in, the doctor took a look and she was just like, yeah, I do feel what you're feeling. Unfortunately, I'm not able to tell you what it is yet, but I do recommend that you go in and receive a mammogram. And for those of you who don't know, a mammogram is basically just them mushing your boob like a pancake, and it's kind of like an x-ray of that area just to rule out any abnormal areas of, calcification or anything as such, really. But yeah, it's basically like an x-ray for your boobage. But you need to be about in your 40s in order to actually receive that mammogram. So I'm 25 years old. I had to call 4 different places in order to get scheduled, and all of them told me the same thing. Basically, you're too young to have a mammogram. I will say this: disease, cancer, whatever, does not care how old you are, and it should not matter how old you are. If my doctor said that I needed to have this diagnostic performed, then I'm going to listen to my doctor and listen to what she says and go have that diagnostic test done. No? Try to do exactly that, and all of them turned me away in terms of the mammogram. So I was just like, F it, I'll just go get the ultrasound. Went to get the ultrasound, and the radiologist wasn't even able to see anything, so she ended up giving me the mammogram anyway, which was... And I still needed to pay for the ultrasound when she wasn't even able to identify anything. So it was basically a waste of money. Aside from that, I went to get that done on August 1st, and then I got the results back that same day, where the doctor was like, okay, like, we see 2 areas of calcification. The first one I knew about. The second one kind of threw me for a loop, and I was not ready for it at all. I was genuinely shocked. So after she told me that she saw that second area of calcification, she recommended that I go in for a biopsy. Let's see. Got my little cheat sheet here. So I went in for the biopsy on August 15th. That was one of the more scary appointments that I've ever had to go through, just because, for one, I was by myself and I really didn't know what to expect. I've seen biopsies, of course. I worked in veterinary medicine as a veterinary assistant, so I've seen my fair share of procedures and stuff like that. I know what a biopsy is. It's literally them going in and collecting a sample of tissue from a certain area of your body to rule out any abnormal cells or anything as such. So I went for the biopsy, and I was so scared. They don't put you under for the biopsy, though I asked. They just give you a little lidocaine injection, which burns, by the way. So yeah, they just numb the area, and they go in with this humongous effing needle just to collect the sample. And what they do is they leave a little chip in that area, so that for any future reference, the doctors will know that you received a biopsy in that area and they can identify it. So I got that done, and the women at the Women's Imaging Virginia Health Center were so amazing. If ever you find yourself needing a biopsy, though I pray you don't, I highly, highly, highly recommend VHC Women's Imaging Center. They are absolutely amazing. Um, Aside from that, I received my results for the biopsy about 5 days later, where they told me, okay, we have your results back. We would like you to come in. And I was at work at the time, so I was completely unprepared for this. But I'm one of those people where I would rather just you tell me what's going on other than, play cat and mouse about it, though I understand they're not able to give you certain information over the phone. So I had to leave work, much to my manager's chagrin. Um, and went to see my primary care doctor, and she was like, okay, so we have your results back, and unfortunately you do have ductal carcinoma of the left breast. Ductal carcinoma is cancer. It is literally abnormal cells forming in the milk duct of your bosom, and that's what was going on with me. It was stage 2. It is stage 2. So the chances of it being curable are very high. After receiving my results, I went to go see a breast cancer surgeon slash specialist. She's one of the best in the area, and I was able to get in contact with her through my primary care doctor. Lord bless that woman, because had it not been for her putting me in contact with the team that I have, Lord knows where I would be. So I'm very, very, very grateful to this woman. So yes, I went to go see the breast cancer surgeon specialist, and basically what we did is go over my specific form of cancer, which I'll go over in just a bit, and also talk about next steps for treatment. When sitting down with the specialist, she basically broke it down to me, stating that my form of breast cancer is called HER2 positive ductal carcinoma of the left breast. So what is HER2 positive? Basically, there's 2 hormones in my body that are causing these cancer cells to grow. One of them being estrogen, the other one being progesterone. And those 2 come together and they form that HER2 compound. And from there, if you are diagnosed with HER2 positive, you do and will need chemo. Such is my life. After my appointment with the breast cancer specialist / surgeon, I actually went to go see an oncologist on August 30th. From there, she kind of sat me down and spoke about what my chemo schedule is going to look like, and she actually put me in contact with a fertility clinic, because if you don't know, chemo can basically harm your uterus, making it harder for you to have kids. There are other options, like an injection called Lupron. It kind of just coats the uterus to protect it a little bit, but of course it's not 100%. The only 100% option that you have is fertility storage and baking. I'll touch base on that a little bit more in just a second. So after my appointment with the oncologist, she recommended that I have my birth control implant removed. So I had the arm thing, Nexplanon. So I had that in my arm, and I had to get it removed just because it is hormone based, and basically those hormones are feeding my cancer. So I needed to have that removed, and I went for that on September 5th, followed by my appointment with a Shady Grove Fertility Clinic. On September 10th, I went to go have my chemo port placed. Basically, this allows them to give me my infusions via a catheter that I have to have placed every time I go for chemo. The reason I didn't get it in my arms like you see sometime in the movies is because it can damage your veins, and my veins are already terrible. I don't need that. And I also don't need them sticking me like 5,000 times trying to get it right, because I don't like needles. So yeah, I went to go have that placed on September 10th, and I cried going in, because I guess at that moment it I was just one step closer to starting my chemotherapy, and it just made it a little bit more real. Like, I was lying on the table, they were prepping me for the surgery, and I just remember the woman holding my hand as I was going under, and she was very supportive, but it's so scary because I have to walk around with this big ass so I can't curse on here. I have to walk around with this, grape sized lump in my chest and the scarring, so it made it a little bit more real in that moment. Okay. So after having my port placement, I went to go get an echocardiogram. Just because I say a lot, I'm so sorry. There we go. I went to go have an echocardiogram because the chemo can cause a little bit of a, I guess, jump in your heart rate, basically. I don't know, or affect the flow